Here we all come. Great. Go ahead and put it here in the chat for me so I know you're here. And we'll get started. This is our Seesaw Workshop, so it is being recorded right now. So if you want to put off your camera, you certainly can. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the teacher side. We're going to look at the student side. I'll have you practice a few things. This is really made for those beginners that maybe have used Seesaw a little bit or you've never used it at all. And just to kind of give you an idea what Seesaw is and how it can be used. We'll talk about some good workflows. I'll show you some of the tools, but I'm going to start by just showing you the teacher side, and then I'll have you log in as a student, and then you can try some different items out as a student to be able to see what it looks like from both perspectives. At any point, if you have questions, please unmute your microphone and ask it, or if you prefer, you can put it right in the chat. And thank you, Andrea. And we can answer your questions. I'll keep toggling between my screens to be able to see that. So I'm going to present my screen now. Hi, Amy. And we're going to go to Seesaw from the teacher perspective. So I'm going to come out here. I'm actually going to log out and start right from the beginning for you so that you can see how it starts when you're first going into Seesaw. So when you first get into Seesaw, you have three options. You have the teacher, student, and family member options. The teacher option is what you're probably going to use the most because that's where you're going to assign work, check work, respond to students, anything you're planning to do, you're going to do in the teacher side. The I'm a student side is where you're going to go for part of our training today, just so you can practice what it looks like from the student perspective. But this is where your students are going to go, is the student one. And then Seesaw also has Seesaw for Families. And what they do with Seesaw for Families is it allows your families to see what their child is doing within their folder. Now, one thing to know with Seesaw Families is with remote learning, you probably don't have to have the students using the family app if the students are accessing Seesaw from home. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that as we go through these different categories. Someone in your district is your Seesaw for Schools ambassador if you have the, or administrator rather, if you have Seesaw for Schools. If you're doing this as your own personal account or something like that, you won't have access to that part. And I'll show you some of the features that are paid versus free because I know there's a bunch of different schools on our call today. So we want to make sure we kind of cover what you can and can't do depending on which level you have. So I'm going to click on I'm a teacher. And I'm signing in using my Google sign-in information. And this is my ambassador account because I'm a Seesaw ambassador. And I want to just show you what the dashboard looks like. On the top left-hand corner, you see my name, and you see teacher, and you see however many classes you have. I think they let you have something like 100 classes. I don't know. I've never maxed out. But all of your classes are when I click on this gray bar. So if I go back out, if I click on the gray bar, all of my classes will be listed under this category. All right, so you're going to see all of your classes there. To start a new one, you click on Create New Class. And I'm going to click on that just to show you what happens. Now, depending on what your school uses, so if you're a Clever school or a ClassLink school, your classes might already be set up for you through your district administrator. They might do the single sign-on through Clever or ClassLink. If they don't, no biggie. You could always import your class from your Google Classroom, or you can just create your class. So if I was going to create this one, I might call it demo, pick the grade level, I hit the green check, and off it's going to go. I'm not actually going to create one now. I just wanted to show you that. So that's what you're going to see under the little sign in at the very beginning where you see my name. The other thing that's important to note in this category is this little gear icon. This gear icon is for anything you want to change that affects all of your classes, not the things that affect the one class, but if you have multiple classes, this gear icon is for you. It's also where you can change your email and your passwords and that sort of thing. So I'm going to click on that, and you're going to see that you're going to get a bunch of choices that come up. Your account settings. The Share Seesaw gives you a QR code that you can share out. If you get, I think it's 30 people to sign up under your QR code, they send you a free sweatshirt. I have a sweatshirt, it's pretty comfortable. But you can certainly share Seesaw through there, but you also can just tell people to go to Seesaw and sign up. If you ever need to contact Seesaw support, you're going to click this button here. Now, Seesaw is a very small company. They have under 60 people that work for that company. They're very supportive with everything with remote learning, but I did hear there was some pretty significant lag time in their ability to do some of that support. So your best bet, and I'm going to show you where you can go for help, is to check their help pages. And it's going to bring you to a resource that's going to give you some of the answers maybe to the most frequently asked questions. But it's there for you. They just might be, more like a 48-hour turnaround versus an instant help. You don't have to worry so much about the device information. The Privacy Center, what that will tell you is about how they deal with student privacy and student information. Because you are all New York schools, you should be checking with whoever your data privacy officer is for your district to see if Seesaw is one of the approved ones for your district. Do not use it if you don't, because you're required under Education 2 law, Ed Law 2D, to have a signed contract with every vendor you use that collects any student personally identifiable information. Seesaw absolutely does. They're putting in their name. They might be adding pictures and videos of themselves. They're doing work. There's definitely several layers of PII, or personal identifiable information, on there. There's where you also sign out. So if you are on a teacher side and you want to switch to a family or a student, you can sign out and sign back in. Or if you've already created these accounts, you'll also have switch to family account and switch to student account. All right, any questions on that before I go too fast? Because this one's more like I want to go at a slower pace and help you out. We're good? All right, I will keep plugging along then. So I'm coming back into my teacher Seesaw, and I always know which account I'm signed into because it says teacher under my name on the top left, and it says teacher under the name of my class on the top right. All right. What you see down the center of your screen is the journal, and the journal is just a feed of anything that's happened within your class. So I did a class this morning. It generated all of this work that you're going to see here. You're going to generate more, and I'm able to see everybody's work that they did this morning. All right, so this is where you're going to see anything that's been posted will show up in the journal. The next button over, so I'm coming over to that purple side over here. Under journal, you also have activities. Activities are lessons or an activity that you want your students to complete. And I'm going to spend some time on that in a little bit, so I'll kind of skip over it for right now. But on the teacher side, you can see that you can assign different activities, you can schedule activities, you can even archive activities, and you can always access the activity library. The next tab over is your inbox. So any announcements that you want to send to students or to families, you can do through here. Now, remember, with virtual learning, parents may not be using the family app, so you might want to send it as a student announcement, and then everyone will get that information. The notifications tab is going to let you know what's been happening in your class. So if you want to see which kids did something today, you can go into notifications and you can see what was done each day. And you can see, like it says 1 hour ago, because like I said, I used this class this morning. So you can see what items are in there, and anything that's asking for approval will show pending approval on there. The next button over is skills. And what skills are is this is a premium feature. So if you're Seesaw for Schools, you have skills. If you're using the free version, that won't show up for you at all. You won't be able to do anything with it. But what you do is you choose how you want to set up your skills. It could be your weekly goals. It could be activity goals. It could be aligned to your standards, your state standards, whatever you want to set up your skills for. You just click Start Tagging Skills, and then you start tagging your skills right within the activity. You can create one, search one, you can do whatever you'd like in here. So if this was a basic writing one, I can click and say she got a 4-star on it. I hit the check, and now I have that skill listed for her as far as the activity. That does not show up for students. The skills are just for teachers. So if you're using a class and you have multiple teachers, they can see how students are doing based on the skills. All right, so now that I've clicked something, I can start to see which student and who has skills, that I've put in different stars. All right, and I can see which skills are tagged underneath each activity. Now, some of you might have a fifth tab, and I'm going to show you that today as well, and that's the blog. And I get to that at the end of this training because it's kind of overwhelming on top of everything else, but I will add the blog in a little bit. And what the blog does is allows you to have a public-facing classroom page. So it kind of looks like a web page. It is a web page that you can have parents go to, you can have students go to, you can put announcements if the students did an activity that you want them to collaborate on or offer comments to. It's a great place to put that information. You can keep it password protected. So if any parents are looking to get on, they have to be supplied a password to get on, but your students would have access to that blog within your classroom. All right. Any questions on journal, activities, inbox, skills for now? Great. All right, I'm keeping moving on then. So you stop me if I'm going too fast for you. Let's talk about getting your students in. I showed you up in the top left-hand corner how you can create a new class, but let's say you've created your class, like I've created this blended learning workshop one. If I click on add students, as soon as I click here, I'm going to get a code that I can use to get my students on. And then the students are going to pick their name. That's how I set up this class, is that I put all the students in ahead of time. They use a code to get in. That's how you're going to do it later. But you'll also notice at the top of my screen, there's a code that, or a line that says using Seesaw for home learning, get home learning codes. Since we're in a virtual environment, what Seesaw did come last March is they created home learning codes for us to get our students logged in. This is the way they recommended for student privacy. It's the way I recommended for your student privacy. This will definitely meet your New York State guidelines for and laws for student privacy and protecting student data. So even if your student, and I'm going to show you the difference here, if your students log in using Clever or ClassLink, I'm going to show you how to set up your class so it looks exactly the same as the home learning codes, or you could just use the home learning codes. Completely up to you. When I click on Get Home Learning Codes, it's going to show all the classes that I have. So I'm going to go into this blended learning one, and I'm going to click Print Codes. And what it's going to do is it's going to generate a PDF of all the students that are in this class, and it's going to give me a one-pager for each student. So I can print this out, mail it home, or I'll show you where you can get it for each individual student to email it to them. Your choice how you want to get that information to your students. If you're doing a hybrid model, you can get the kids logged in using these codes while they're in your class. And as long as they're a one-to-one device, they'll stay logged in when they go home. But you always have this as an option with each of these classes. All right, so you always have that information in there. You can also download the codes, and then you can send them through email, or if you use Kami, you can divide it out and separate it that way, however you'd like to send these codes. You'll notice at the very bottom of your screen, there it says home learning FAQs and lesson ideas. If I click on that, it's going to bring me out to their website to give me information about remote codes and give me some training and some resources for parents, for teachers, and for your students. So you're going to see all of that information out on that link. All right, so that's the home learning code. So we're going to get you logged in just a minute or two, but I want to show one more big area, and it is a big area. Well, two more big areas, but this is the biggest one, and that's the wrench. The wrench allows you to change anything within your class. So if you want to change how things look, you're going to do it in the wrench. From the class settings, you can add students, you can add families. I can change the name of the class. I can give it a different grade level. Under Manage Teachers, I can add in different teachers' emails, so I can have a co-teacher on it. I can also generate a co-teacher link, and I just give them this link, and it will link them right to the class to be able to join. So I always have options to add other teachers to your class. I believe this is a paid feature, so this would be a Seesaw for Schools, but check that one out. I'm not 100% sure on that, whether or not it is. Under Manage Teachers, you have Class Theme. This is where you can change the color. So maybe you don't want it to be a lavender, you want it to be a teal. You can change that color right from, or peacock they call it, right from Class Theme. Same with Class Icon. I just uploaded a picture of my dog, but you can use any of their icons that they have or upload your own. Student sign-in mode. I'm going to have you do the class code with one-to-one devices. If you're using home learning codes, that will show up, but you'll see that you have different options on how they sign up. For your youngest ones, the one-to-one device and their one-to-one devices, this is the easiest way to get them on is through the home learning codes or through the QR code that they scan. If you have older kids, I would say third grade and up, or for whatever age they actually have an email account, you can have them go in using their Google account. Again, if you have Clever or ClassLink, that's all done for you. Under the Manage Students tab, when you click on that, I can manage the students that are in my class. All right, so you can see some of them logged in with email, some of them logged in with just their name, and they have initials next to their name as their icons. So I'm going to grab mine here. I can also change how this looks for each student. So I can change, let's say I spelled somebody's name wrong, or I want to change the way their name displays, or I want to change their icon. I can click on that and I can change their icon. I love elephants, so I'm going to pick that one, but I can also upload photos to here if I want and put anything I'd like it to be. I can check their email. I can add in family members. So maybe I want to invite a family member. So I'm going to turn on family access. I'm going to click invite family member. I'm going to go down to my name here. And I'm just going to put in a different email account. And then I'm going to click invite families, but you can go through and do this through all of your parents, and you can connect them to your family one. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so I'm back in the wrench. So we showed you manage students, home learning codes. If you click here, you can pull up your students individually. So you can see, you can send just one home, like if a parent lost it or needed it again, whatever it happens to be, or when you're first sending it. Below that, you have students' likes and comments. You can choose whether or not this is allowed, but I highly recommend, if I go below the student likes and comments, that you shut off. Students can see each other's work while you're doing virtual learning. So if your students are going to be using Seesaw from home, shut it off that teachers or students can't see each other's works. Why? Well, normally when they're in the class, you want them to be able to collaborate and encourage each other and that sort of thing. But when they're at home, they might have a parent or a guardian or some adult looking over their shoulder as they're doing the work. And what that does is if they're looking over their shoulders and you allow students to see each other's works, parents now have access to everybody's folder. So they can see student work from, little Johnny and little Amy in that class. And we don't want that, right? We want parents to only see their students' work for student privacy. So you want to shut that off if you're doing any sort of virtual work. If you're only having them use Seesaw in class, go ahead, let them see each other's work. You choose how you want to set that up. You're going to want to leave on the new items need approval because you want to be able to monitor what's happening in the class. Sometimes if I'm doing a group activity, I'll shut this off while they're doing the activity because I know that I'm walking the room. I can see it's all going fine and I want it to just show up without me having to approve it. But everything else, I might want to turn it back on, and you can toggle that in and out. With item editing, you want to keep this on because otherwise, if you send something to students, they won't be able to edit their drafts if you, or not their drafts, they won't be able to edit their work if you don't give them editing rights. I would highly recommend you turn on the Enable Sample Student. Keep that on. That way you can practice what it looks like from a student perspective. Your choice whether or not you turn on or off the family part really doesn't matter as much during home learning, but if they're doing a virtual environment, but you can certainly keep it on if you'd like or turn it off afterwards. Whoops. I was trying to make that go away and instead I clicked on it. We're going to do a little class blog at the end of the day. Folders. So you're able to organize folders for you and your students. When you click on Manage Folders, you can add as many folders as you'd like. So you can say your math folder or whatever it happens to be, and you can pick different colors. You can also set it up by week 1, week 2, or you can put the dates. So you can call it, instead of week 1, you can say September 7th through 14th. All right, and you can set it up that way. And that way all the work will go into the folders as you organize it. Totally up to you how you do that. Under the folders as well, you can choose who gets access to add things to folders. With older kids, definitely students and teachers, you can tell the students, create this, put it in a folder, and off it goes. Or you might just want it to be that it's just for teachers, and teachers have to assign anything that they're doing to a folder, either as they're setting up the activities or afterwards. All right, so that is the last thing I'm going to show you on here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the skills other than just letting you know that's a paid feature. Questions on the wrench? I know that was a lot. All right, let's get you on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to join. I'm going to put the code in the chat here, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to log out, and I'm going to do it here. I'm going to sign out. You're going to log out if you're already signed into a Seesaw. If you are not, then just go to app.seesaw.me and get to this page where you see I'm a teacher, I'm a student, I'm a family member. Don't do anything else until you get there. I'll give you a minute to get there. All right, once you are there, click on I'm a student. Do not fill out the top part. What I want you to do is in the text code at the bottom, I want you to put in the code, which was RCMMLH, and click go. Once you do that, you're going to click on your name and sign in as your name. If you do not see your name, let me know. I will put your name in right now because I'm sure I missed a few because we had some people that joined since I set up the class. Okay, Rachel. All right, refresh your page, Rachel, and you should be able to get in now. Yeah, Amy, you can use, I actually had you in and then you put yourself in, so use either one, whatever one you want to do. All right, is everybody else in? Anyone struggling? Okay, I am going to switch over to the student side now and show you what you see from the student side. So on the student side on your screen, you should see, if you're in the journal, you should see only your name on the right. And the reason for that is because I have it shut off that you can't see other students. If you had it that you could see students, your students would see every student listed on that right-hand side, but you should only see you. Under your name in the class, or under the name of the class where it says Blended Learning Workshop, you should see under there the word student. That's how you know you're on the student side. You have the journal tab, so you'll see any work you've done. Unless you were with me for the 11 o'clock, you won't see anything there. Under activities, you're going to see 2 different activities there that are listed. Actually, you might even see 3 because you might have one, you'll have one more than I did because I already finished one this morning. And then in the inbox, you're going to see whether or not you have any messages and any notifications. And I'm actually going to, yep, okay. I'll just reassign it to myself. So you'll be able to do the different activities and such that's in there. So that's how it looks different on the student side. You'll see that it'll still list those items. It does not show you skills. I haven't turned on the journal or the blog yet, so you don't see that. If I click on my folder, I'm going to be able to see the folders that I have. And if there were any items in it, I'd be able to see the items that are in those folders by clicking on it. It would bring me to that folder. So students can see their organized work. Now, some of the folders and the way those are going to show up are changing. They haven't announced that yet, but it's coming in the next couple weeks. So just know that when you come to this folder page, it might look a little bit different, or when you click on your folders, it might look a little bit different than it does currently because those updates are coming. Under my name in the top left-hand corner where it says Lori G, I can see any classes that I'm in. So I'm only in this one, but if I had more than one class, I would show it down the left. So if you have a student, let's say you teach high school science, and the student has Seesaw classes for like 5 or 6 of their classes, they would click on their name in the top left-hand corner to be able to toggle between those classes. Okay. Questions on the student view? You guys are quiet. No questions? Okay, I bet you they're coming because we're going to get started. So I'm just going to actually go over to my teacher one real quick because I have to reassign for the people that weren't here this people that were here this morning. I want to make sure they have the same activity. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm on the teacher side again. If you're looking at my screen, I can always post a student work, and I can do any work within here, get my dashboard, make a video, upload, put a link in, whatever I'd like. I can do it right from this dashboard. Anything you post a student work is for this particular class. If you want to send things to multiple classes or set it up as an activity, you're going to click on the ad and click on assign activity. So what I'm going to be doing is just reassigning an activity that we did this morning. So those of us who were here this morning will have it. So just give me a moment there. I'm just going to assign it to everyone again. All right. So now what I want all of you to do, I'm going to refresh my page. If you were here this morning, refresh your page too. And I want you to click on the one that says Seesaw PD. If you have 2 of them, just click on one of them. Don't worry about that. And what I mean by click on it is I don't mean click on the word Seesaw PD because it's just going to show up here and you're going to kind of wait on it. What I want you to do is click the green button that says add response. And what I've created is a Hyperdoc for us to kind of go through to kind of learn what the dashboard looks like from a student perspective and from a teacher perspective. So on this page, what I'm going to ask you to do is in the first box, it says write your name in this box and add your picture to the left. So you're going to highlight and delete the words that are in the box, and you're going to put your name in the box. And then where you see my picture on the left, you're going to delete it out, click on the camera and the photo, take a picture. All right, and then you're going to put that on the left, and then tell me your comfort zone with Seesaw. You know, I'm a beginner, I'm an expert, whatever it happens to be. Do not click checks. Do not send it to me. Don't click draft. Don't do anything else other than fill in those boxes. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do it. If you have any questions or you're stuck, ask for help. Please put it in the chat or unmute and I can help you out. All right, so why I had you do this activity is I wanted you to start to learn some of the tools that are on the screen, and I wanted you to start playing around with the tools and see some of the different things you can do. So I will warn you, if you're in a Zoom meeting with your students, so on Google Meet, I haven't run into it as much, but on Zoom, if the camera is being used for Zoom, students can't also use the camera for taking a picture or a video. So if you're doing this synchronous through a video, and your student says, it won't let me use the tool, they're probably right. All right, so they might have to log out of your Zoom to do it, or you might just say, do that part later, let's finish everything else up together. I haven't run into that with Google Meet. It seems to allow the multiple layers of picture taking, but I'm not 100% sure if that won't happen at some point with some device. So what I want you to do is on the right-hand side of your screen, you're gonna see that there's a bunch of different pages. And I'm on page 1 right now. I want you to click over to page 2. And this is a paid feature to be able to put multiple pages on. If you're just doing Seesaw for yourself, you're only going to get 1 page. So all of your activities should be on that 1 page. But for us, we're going to do multiple. And I made a little video on this page. This is a new feature that just came out since remote learning in the past few weeks, where you can add video to every slide within your presentation. So I'm going to play this little video for you. Now that you're in the Explore part of our Seesaw Hyperdoc, I want you to take some time and explore the features that you see on your page here. It's just going to give you a time to play around with the different tools and kind of try to figure out what all of them are. We'll take some time to go over it together, but I want you to take a little time to explore first. Okay, so it is 1:32. I'm going to give you 3 minutes till 1:35 to touch and play all you'd like on this screen. Sarah, it should be in your Seesaw tab. So if you did are you logged into Seesaw at this point as a student? And then it'll be under your Activities tab. I wish there was a way in Seesaw I can see who has joined, like who's live right now. That would be a nice little feature. So Sarah, if you log out of your teacher account, you're going to sign in as a student. You're going to go to the I'm a student and then type in the code I just put on the chat. So MXKYPJ. And then you're going to pick your name. I'm going to make sure your name is on there. Sarah. Yep, Sarah, you're on there. Just click on your name and then you'll be in my class and you'll have access to the activity. Anyone else having trouble finding or getting to the activity? All right, so do not hit the check yet. We're going to keep moving on. You have to let me know if you're struggling with anything. If you don't put it in the chat, I don't know where you are, or if you don't unmute and let me know. So we're going to go to page 3. On page 3, if we're talking about the Hyperdoc format, we went through the Engage and the Explore, so you got to explore the tools. Actually, I lied. Let's stay back on the Explore tools, because let me show you what you have on your screen first. I totally forgot. Let me go through these tools with you. You probably already figured most of them out, but just so you know, you have a text tool. And in the text tool, you can write anything you'd like. If you click over on the right-hand side, you can pick the color for the that text box to be anything you'd like it to be. Let me just move it so you can see it better. Under the words that inside that little text box that you created, if you click on the 3 dots, you have the option to change the style. So you can have it be a filled in box. You can have it be just the words, or you can have it be outlines. You can choose however you'd like it to be. You have 6 different fonts to choose from. You can put links onto these text box, which I'll show in a little bit. And like I said, you can change the colors. You can choose how it's justified on your screen, however you'd like to do it. Underneath the text box, you have a microphone. When I click on the microphone, I have to say allow for my microphone on my computer. But as soon as I hit start recording, you're going to see this red bar come across the top, and it's recording what I'm saying. So if I click the little pencil and I start drawing, it's going to let me talk and draw and circle and do whatever I want to do on the screen. And it's recording everything that I'm doing. All right, I'm going to click done, and it's going to save that as an audio with video right on top of my screen. So if you wanted to walk your students through how to do something, you can click that microphone and record yourself while you're doing something on the screen. If you want a front-facing camera, that's in a different spot. We're getting to that next. The front-facing camera is under the photo one. You can click on video, or you can upload a video. Now, there are some limitations. The videos can only be up to 5 minutes long, all right? And this is only for Seesaw for Schools, so this is for the paid version. If you need a longer one, like you have a 20-minute lesson you want them to watch, you're going to need to upload that as a link, so like a YouTube link or something along those lines. But I highly recommend you keep your videos under 5 minutes, keeps their attention span a little bit longer, and break it into little parts so you can chunk it for them. If you need to take a photo, you just click on the photo, which you got to practice on the last screen. Underneath that, you have 3 dots. From here, you have shapes, so you can pull in whatever shapes you'd like. You just tap on them, and the little shapes come in, and you can move them anywhere you'd like them on the screen. You can change the colors. You can do anything you'd like. You know, as you're going through, you can move them around. You can make them larger, smaller, so kids can really design and create as they're going through and designing your slide. You can also change the background. They give you a whole bunch to choose from, and you can just change whatever background you want. Because this is an activity, it's not really going to let you change the background too much here. But if this was one that you started the kids blank one, you can go ahead and change that background. And you could also add links. So let's say I wanted you to go out to Wonderopolis.org. It will put a picture of Wonderopolis on there for you with the link attached, and you can shrink it down, move it around, whatever it is you'd like to do. At the bottom of your screen, you have the finger one. That's going to allow you to move things around. There's the one I was doing from behind. That's where it changed the color, so it keeps my layer on top of it. I have the pencil. I have the marker. All right, I have a highlighter. And again, I can change the color by clicking over on the left for any of these tools. And then I have the magic pen that does kind of like a cool glow kind of look to it. Again, you can change the color and do it any way you'd like. Okay. All right. So hopefully your screen looks as messy as mine, and we can move on from here. So I'm going to slide 3. On slide 3 is the meat of your Hyperdoc. Let's watch the video. Did you get lots of ideas on how you could use those tools? Let's explore some more together, dive a little deeper, and really learn what Seesaw is about. Okay, so you watched my little video, and I made this video right in Seesaw. The reason I have a light bulb over my head is I used a downloadable app called Snap Camera. It works just like Snapchat, but for your computer, and it allows those filters. So it's not something you give your students, but it might be something fun that you can do as you're going through for your students. But what you're going to do is I'm going to give you about, we got plenty of time. So I'm going to give you a good 15 minutes. Yeah, 10 to 15. I'll check back with you in 10 and see how we're doing. But what I want you to do is pick where you want to go. So this is a choice board that you can build right into Seesaw, and it gives your students the opportunity to do whatever it is based on what they want to know or whatever you feel they should be comfortable doing. So if you're brand new to Seesaw, I highly recommend you click on the link that's to the left of the Seesaw 101. Go through those slides. These are just Google slide decks that that Seesaw made. I didn't edit or change them. I just grabbed them from Seesaw. And you can go through that 101 and kind of read a little bit more about what is Seesaw, how does it work. If you have some foundational skills but want to learn more, you're going to go to Seesaw 201. Again, you're going to click that link to the left of it. If I made this choice board again, I would separate them out a little bit because the links kind of hover to the left of the item. Underneath there, you have set up for remote learning. So if you're curious about how to set this up for a hybrid or a remote setup, click on this link and go ahead and practice and kind of go through that slide deck to see it. If you're a Seesaw master and you just want to see what's new, go to what's new in Seesaw, click on that link, and it'll go through the videos and all the different things that that I showed you. We're going to watch a video that's going to show some of those new things as well on a slide in a few minutes. So it is about 1:40. I'm going to check back with you at 1:55 and see how we're doing. I'll stop sharing my screen too. You're welcome, Sarah. I hope you got on now. Just checking in with you. Any questions you have? Are you ready to move on, or do you want your 5 other minutes? Tell me in the chat. One person said they're ready. How about the rest of you? Two said they're ready. Three said they're ready. We're halfway there. All right, sounds like we're good. So we'll continue on. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me hit present. And at this point, I have not had you submit it yet. So we're going to keep plugging through, and then I'm going to show you the teacher side once students do the work. So here's a typical lesson you might be doing with your students. We've gone through 3 parts. We're now going to go down to the next part, which is slide 4. And I want to go through all of these different sections with you. So we kind of covered already getting students in your class. And I won't bother with the video. You can watch it if you'd like. But getting students in your class, we talked about the different ways to do that. Using the student work tab, I'm going to show that to you once we submit. So I'm going to kind of leave that one for now. I'm going to show you the activities, and I'm going to show you the blog before we go further on here. So if you're not looking at my screen, if you can come back to my screen, I'm going to go back to the teacher side of things. And I'm going to show you activities and blog. So on the teacher side of things, I'm going to click the green add button. And under here, I have this post student work. And here at any point, I can just say, all right, I'm going to do a video, start taking a video of me. I'd hit record, and I could put a video out to my students. So every day for a morning meeting, I could be like, hi, how you all doing today? And off you go doing that sort of thing. But if I'm doing an activity, this is something that the students are going to be doing. I'm going to click on Assign Activity, and it's going to bring me out to an activity library. So under the library, you have My Library and a Community Library. When you first start, all you'll have is this Create New Activity button. Everything else won't be there. Once you start saving activities from the Community Library or creating your own, they'll show up here. You can put all of your activities into a collection. They're not folders. They call them collections because they have folders for you to organize your work for your students. So they call these collections. So you can create your collections based on topic. You can create it based on subject. Or what I'm starting to see a lot of teachers do is they do it weekly. So September 7th through the 14th, all of the activities they plan to do during that week, they save to that week. Or by month, you're all my September activities, all my October. However it works for you, you choose how you want to do it. If you don't want to put them into a collection, they sit at the bottom where it says activities not in a collection. When I click on it, here's my 42 different activities that I have not categorized yet. And it's saying, are you sure you don't want to organize them? And yeah, I can organize those. So if I wanted this like hero project one that I did to go into a writing one, I can click on writing, and now it's gone from my unfiled and it's been put into a collection. At any point, I can go back to my collection. So I just click back on my library, and I can see, again, recent activities here. And that activity I just put in writing, now I have this writing activity on this page. All right, so it creates these little collections for you. And you'll notice you have the 3 dots. You can edit or delete that collection. If you're done with it, don't want it anymore, you know, whatever it happens to be. In here as well, let's say you created an activity and you wanted to share it with other teachers. You can click on any of these activities. So let's pull this one, this first week of school one. I click the 3 dots at the bottom of my screen here, and I can share this activity. And it's going to say, do you want to email it, put it into your Seesaw library? So that's your library within your school. I can share it on social media. I can get a teacher link, and I can get an activity embed code. What's coming, so a new feature that's coming is the ability to actually get an activity link for your students. So let's say you have to assign all of your work in Google Classroom, but you want the students to do the work in Seesaw. You're going to have a link to be able to go right to that activity. In the past, you've had to send them to Seesaw as the link, and then they'd have to navigate it to it themselves. That link is coming. It should be here within the next week or so. Definitely will be here by the time you go back to school in the fall. All right, so I'm in my library again. And I'm going to go to community in a minute. But let's say I'm here in my library and I want to assign this great activity with the DOT. September 15th-ish is around when the DOT is like our international activity that we can do. Really fun activity to do with kids as far as creativity. And let's say I want to get this assigned, but I want to assign it for September 15th. So I'm going to click on Assign. It's going to pull up all the classes that I have. So I'm going to click You Guys, which is the Blended Learning Workshop one that we're doing now. But before I hit Assign to Class that you see at the bottom of your screen here, I'm going to click next to it where it says Edit Students, Folders, and Skills. When I click on this, I can choose who gets the activity. So maybe I'm only going to send this to my red group or my purple group or however you have it set up. I can click those students. I can choose which folder it goes in. So remember I said you can choose where you want to put information in. Your private folders for teachers only. So if you're sharing something between several teachers, you can put it in that private folder. This is a beginning of school week, so I'm going to put it in my September one for now. I probably actually would create another folder that was September 15th through, I don't know, 20th. That's 5 days, 22nd. I'm really good at math. And I'll just pick a color. So I'm going to put it in my September 15th through 22nd week. And then if you have Seesaw for Schools, I could also attach a skill to this. So maybe I want to make this a new skill, and I'm going to call it following directions. Or I could do a quick code add and put in my, my state standards. I can choose which grade level this is for. So I can say 3rd grade. I can call it whatever I want, whatever I'd like to do. I can put that information in. I click the check. Now I'm going to grab that as my following directions activity. I've put it in my September 15th tab. I'm sending it to all students, so I can click the check. Still haven't sent it out to them yet. So now I have the one class checked, and then at the very bottom of my screen, I have the choice to assign it or schedule it. I'm going to click schedule. And what this does is it allows me to pick the activity I want, and it allows me to pick when I want to send it. Just like you can in Google Classroom where you can schedule your assignments, you can do that here as well. So you want to assign this for a specific date and time. I said I wanted to do it on September 15th, and I wanted to show up maybe at 8 a.m. So I can change this from from PM to AM. So I got it September 15th at 8 a.m. I click the check, and now I get this green button at the bottom that says assign on September 15th, 2020, 8 a.m. If I'm ready to go, I click go. If there's other classes I want to send it to, I can continue to set up those classes, and I can click assign. And now when I go out to my class and I go under my activities tab, I have what's assigned, and under my scheduled, I'm going to see that I have this item scheduled. So you can schedule as many as you'd like, and they'll all just sit here for you waiting for you to actually do it. And you'll notice this pop-up keeps coming up. At any point, if you have in your journal put on this sample student, in any activity, you can click on it. So I'm going to go to my scheduled one, click add response, pick sample student, and I can practice. So my instructions were at the top here. Click add a response, listen to the story by clicking the link. When you finish, it's time to create. Use your paper and coloring supplies to make your mark, take a picture, add it to your journal. So the students are going to click on that, click on to listen to the story. Oh, this is a great one because the video is not available anymore, but we'll find a new one. It's out there on YouTube for the Peter Reynolds reading the story. And then they're going to click on the picture, take a picture of whatever dot they created, and add it to their journal. All right. If you allow students to add things to their folder, you can put that as a direction and then add that one in. It's good to know that that is not working anymore. Good thing to check, right? So if let's say I check this and realize, oh my gosh, the link doesn't work, I can click into the 3 dots. I can click edit the activity. It'll bring me back out. I can take out this video that no longer works and put in a new one. So I'm going to delete this one out. And then I'm going to instead add a multimedia, and I'm going to upload, and I'm going to find that YouTube video, and I'm going to put that in there. All right, so I'm going to, or my link, find that YouTube video and send it in there. So actually, if I, YouTube, let's find it. Why not while I'm here? The dot. All right, here we go. The Dot by Peter Reynolds.
Quote.
Share, copy, go back into my Seesaw class, paste, I hit the check, and now I've got this link on this activity. All right, I hit the check, I hit save. Now when I go into my scheduled activities, I have this new link. All right, so you can always edit on the fly at any point. Underneath the activity, it'll tell you that when it's scheduled for, who it's assigned to, what folder it's in, what skills it's aligned to. Once those activity links go live, you'll also be able to grab that activity link from here. So get student link. Ooh, is it working? Let's see. Share a link to this activity with students in your class. It is working. Look at that. I said it was coming this week. Here it is. So you can grab that link, and then the students should be able to paste that link, and it should take them right to that activity. Look at that. It brought me right to the activity. See, in live time, we see something new. This just made me very excited. All right, questions on what I've done so far with activities. Let's see, how many activities are in the community? Thousands upon thousands. I'm going to go over there next. Do you know if the collections carry over to the district library or building? Depends on how your admin sets it up, Amy. Are you the admin panel for your district? Okay, so on your side, if you allow teachers to add those collections to a district or building library, however you have it set up is what teachers are allowed to do. So you have to put those permissions on your side. I don't know all the little details on the admin panel. I'm just still learning that side myself, but I'm pretty sure I was on with another group and they said, yes, they had their person on and she said, yeah, I'm able to put it at district level. So you should be able to do that. Yeah. Why do you need to share the link that new way? Oh, so great question, Andrea. So let's say I worked with one school that they're required to post all of the work on Google Classroom for every class, for every subject, for every student, right? As part of remote learning, that's what their administration wanted. That works, right? But what was happening were teachers were saying, well, I want them to do the Seesaw activity. So all they were doing is putting out on Classroom, go to Seesaw, find this activity. What you can do now is if you use Google Classroom, they can now put that link out on Google Classroom saying, do this activity, and it will bring them right to that Seesaw activity. It saves kids from having to find it. If you're only using Seesaw, like I know there's some schools that are using Seesaw only K-5, and some are using it K-12. If that's the case, who cares about the links? You're right. All you want to do then is tell them that all their work is under that activities tab. They go in and they grab it. Yeah, really good question. Perfect. Other questions? That link wasn't there this morning, or at least I missed it if it was. Okay, so let's stay within the activities. So I'm in, where am I now? I need to go here. Okay. I was in student. I need to be in teacher. So I'm going to go back to activities again. I showed you my library. Let's go over to the community library. So in the community library, you have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of lessons. All of these lessons are teacher created. And you have to go through a process in order to be one of their teacher authors. I have not done it. I don't create lessons. I don't work with students anymore, so I could do PD. That would be, I could create PD ones for them if they wanted me to. But there are teachers that do that, and I'm going to just show you one just to see what that looks like. So I'm going to go to Chris's because he's my favorite. Chris has his own library of activities as a published author within Seesaw. And you can see he has 268 activities published. And you can see how many students he's reached, 409,000 students that he's reached with his activities. His are amazing. He was a kindergarten teacher, so a lot of them are young, but now he's an integration specialist for his district. So I'm starting to see some ones that are multi-level, any grade will kind of work. So he's great any way you want to look at it. All right, so I'm going to click on the community and walk you through what you see. All right, so when you get here, you're going to want to narrow it down to your grade level. So I taught 6th grade, so I'm going to go to 6th grade. As soon as I do that, it's going to start to sort for me. And I taught 6th grade English when I left the classroom. I was doing English language arts. So I'm going to click on that. I have 968 activities that are specific to 6th grade English language arts. All right, let's say I was going to 1st grade for English language arts. I have over 10,000 activities. Let's say I was going to 10th grade English language arts. I've got 93 activities, all right, because it's probably even under different sections a little bit more when you start going to high school. So let me go even into reading. I got 15 for 10th grade. For 1st grade, I have almost 7,000. For 6th grade, I had 485. So you can see it kind of shifts. Definitely Seesaw can be used for any grade level. I actually taught a literacy class at Skidmore College, and I did like a workshop for them, and we use Seesaw. So it can be used at any grade level. All right. I've taught postgraduate classes at SUNY Plattsburgh. I've used Seesaw with them too. It can be used at any grade level, but I do find that it's used more often K-5 because it's so accessible for students. Doesn't mean you can't use it for any grade level though. All right. So I'm going to go back out to the main community here. So I showed you how you can sort it down. But let's say I'm not going to touch grades and subjects. I want to search for an activity. So I mentioned the dot. I'll just stick to that, the dot. All right. So I'm going to hit that. And you're going to see that when I hit the dot, I'm going to see all of these different activities that have the word dot in it. And they don't tell you how many when you categorize it this way, but you can see there's lots of fun ones. There's Connect the Dots, Art Club. There's some math ones. There's definitely a lot of dot day ones. Wonder Workshop ones are fun that way. Some music ones. So you can see all sorts of different ones that are available based on that topic. You could even say, you know, maybe you're doing triangles. Try if I could spell. All right. And I'm going to see all the ones that have to do with triangles. I can still narrow it down. Maybe I'm doing triangles, but I'm doing it in 9th grade, right? I can just narrow it down to 9th grade triangles and see all the different activities that are available there. All right. Going back into community again. So I'm going to stay where I am here. What you're going to see at the top are these 3 big buttons. These are ones that are typical ones that people are looking for right now. So they're kind of like featured, right? So you're going to always see right now the remote learning ones. You're going to see some online activities. SEL is often a popular one. They will give you ones that probably are things you're looking for right now, right at the top. If you always have it narrowed down to a grade, so let's say you're in 3rd grade, it's going to be focused on their 3rd grade activities that typically people are looking for right now. Below that, you're going to see trending searches. So right now, back to school is a huge trending search. Growth mindset, creativity, verbs, distance learning. These are keywords that people are searching, and you're going to see those searches. And if you pick one, so I like the word creativity, I'm going to click on that. You're going to see a bunch of activities that have to do with creativity. All right, so here's some fun, creative activities that, that teachers have put on here that you can do with your students. Below that, you're going to see ones that are popular right now. So these are ones that teachers have been pulling this week, which is really nice when you're going in saying, gosh, I got to plan something for tomorrow. What should I grab? There might be something really good below this, and you can still narrow this down then by your grade level. And then below that, you're going to see featured authors. And I haven't tried, and I'm curious if I do this. If I go to a grade level, I'm going to go back to my 6th grade, if it will show me featured authors for my grade level. No, it does take that out. I was just, oh no, here they are, featured authors for 6th grade. Look at that. So you can see different ones based on the grade level that you teach. All right. So, and I don't know any of them particularly because I tend to do the all search. But Ben is one of my favorites. Chris is one of my favorites in here, and you can see both of them on here. Mrs. Schumacher does some really cool things. Ben, if you teach the young grades, like kindergarten, he does everything dressed as an astronaut. He's got puppets. You can see he's got 184 different activities that are posted in here that are really rich and robust for you to do with your students. And he's constantly adding more. So you can always search by author. If you like an author, you can't really like the author, but you can start to like their activities, and it's going to come up as part of those trending searches for you. And then below that, you're going to see recently added. So it's going to show ones that people have put in recently. That makes sense, right? And then below that, it's going to give you more collections. And then you could even browse by subject or grade level from the bottom, so you don't have to scroll back up to the top to start that again. So if I was looking at physical education, I've got 364 activities in phys ed that I can grab and do an activity with my students. Okay, that's your community library. Now let's say you're in your community library and you find something you love. All right, so I'm just going to grab first day of school virtual. Let's do it. So here they're going to listen to a poem. They're going to click on the camera and take a picture, upload a picture of your first day of school, move the picture to the center, click the text box and show me how you type your name, use the photo. This one looks fine, right? So they've got this whole activity that they're going to do. If I like it, I click the heart. As soon as I click the heart, it goes to my library. All right, you're going to see I get this blue bar at the bottom, and I can assign it to class there, or I can assign it to class in this green button right up at the top. Under the three dots, right away, I can add it to a collection, so I don't even have to go back to sort it. I can add a collection, so maybe I'm going to do beginning of school as a collection. I click create, click on that one, and immediately it goes into that collection under my library. As soon as I want to assign it, and you saw me do this already, I pick the class I want. I can click edit students folder skills, pick whoever I want, choose what folder it goes into. So maybe it goes into this first week of school folder. I can assign it a skill, whatever I'd like to do, and then I assign it to the class, or I schedule it and then assign it to the class. Anything in your library is fully editable. So if you go into your library, and let's say you want to do this, I'm going on a letter hunt, and instead of using his video, you want to put in your own, you can do that. If you look at the template that he puts on here, and this is if I actually do this activity, these are draggable so the kids can click and drag them around. Maybe you want to put in something else or a different letter or something on there. You can edit this fully and create your own. Questions, because I just covered a lot. Let me come back to you. We're good? Awesome. Okay, staying in the teacher side. That's not that one, that's this one, Lori. Back to class, and we're gonna go into the blog. So I'm going to scroll down. I went to the wrench, and I'm going down to the class blog, and I'm going to enable it. And it's going to say, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes, set up a public blog. I can call it anything I want. All right, and I can give it whatever blog name I want. So I might say WSW HE BOCES BLW. That's a big long one, right, for Blended Learning Workshop. All right, so I'm going to click the next button, and I'm going to choose some options. Do I want them to have comments? All right, you might want this. If you have them shut down so they can't see each other, you might want to enable comments on the class blog. Do I want a password? I'd recommend it. So I'm just going to say school or Apple or whatever you want for your easy password there. And you're going to give this password to parents so they can get in. Your students won't need it because the password is, or the blog will be open right away for them. And you could always change your password if somebody's found your website and you would need to do that. I'm going to click the next button, and it's going to say your blog is created. All right, I'm going to click the check for now. Now you'll see I have journal, activities, inbox, skills, and blog. And I can start to change the blog in the way it looks. So I'm going to click the gear icon on my blog. I can still change the URL. I can put in a description, and I can add an image. So I can either take a picture or I can upload an image. So I'm just going to select, I have a picture of the Cliffs of Moher. I usually just grab to show this. Yep. Or here, let's do the ocean one this time if it lets me. There it goes. Okay. So here's the Jersey Shore. That seems to make sense, right? So now I've got this picture right in there of the Jersey Shore. I have the link to my website. I have no posts or visits yet because I haven't put anything on there. But I'm going to go back into my journal. And let's say this activity right here that Stephanie did was amazing. Let's just say it was. And you guys haven't sent yours in yet. This was from the morning class that they were there. You'll notice under her name now, I can still like and comment, which we didn't talk about yet, but I can. I could like and comment on her post. I can add a teacher comment, and what this does is a private note between teachers. So let's say the ELA teacher wanted to send a message to the AIS teacher and wanted her to look at this this work that the student did. They can send notes back and forth on this item. It's only visible to teachers. Next to that are your skills. So I can assign this a skill. So maybe this was a writing skill. All right. And I can hit the check, and now a skill is updated. Right now, this is not in a folder, but maybe I wanted to put this in a folder as a reading activity, or I can create a new folder, and I click the check. And then the farthest one over is this little globe. That's your blog. If I publish this to the blog, it's going to go onto that blog page immediately. And you're going to see that it turned blue here because it's something that's posted on the blog. If I go over to the blog, now I'm going to see this activity right on my blog page, and I have the option to comment. So if you were doing something where you wanted all your students to comment on something, you can post it here, and then the students can comment within the blog. If you have parents attached to this blog, they can also comment. But anything that's commented on the blog from a student side, you moderate. So it's going to come to you before it goes live. So nothing's going to show up on there until you've approved it. All right. Questions on that? Can we go over again where to find the new option for assigning an activity within an activity? Yeah, I think I know what you're asking. So I'm in my class. I'm going to go over the activities tab, click the add, which I could do up in the green button, or I can browse an activity down there. I click assign an activity, or activity library. I pick an activity. So let's say I want to do this digraph word sort. I'm going to assign this to a class. I can edit who it goes to. So maybe I don't want it to go to all students. I only want it to go to Amy and me. All right. I'm going to click the check. I could also, while I was in there still, go over to folders, and I can put this as a reading activity, or maybe writing, whatever you want it to be. I can assign it a skill, and I'm going to click the check. Once I assign this, that's going to show up to just the students I chose, these 2 students, with this one folder and this one skill. If I want to schedule that out, I click schedule. I assign it to a specific date and time, and then I click the check. All right, I'm not going to actually assign that one. Did I answer your question?
No, I'm sorry. The new feature that you just found today, where you copy the link for the activity. I didn't just explain that too well.
Sure.
I couldn't
okay. No, that's fine.
remember where you found that.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting. So I'm going to go back to class. I'm in the activities tab. All right. And I'm going to click the 3 dots next to that, or under that activity. So under that add response button. And I found get student link as the new option here. And I click copy. And then I'm going to paste that wherever I want that activity link to be. So I could put it in Google Classroom or Canvas. Sure. Yeah. That was new. That was exciting. How are we doing? Other questions? A lot of material over a short period of time, I know. Okay, go back to your student tab then. All right, and we're going to come back to the slide deck that we're working on. We're going to go beyond slide 4 to slide 5, and I'm going to play this video for you because I think it really does a nice job explaining the new features. So we're going to hit the link.
Welcome to What's New in Seesaw. This training is designed for free and paid teachers, coaches, and administrators who are excited about the updates to video, link, and draw and record features in Seesaw. Make sure your Seesaw class app is up to date and have another window or device ready to follow along with the steps. The right tools allow students to go beyond expressing their learning. The right tools support students to reflect on and deepen their learning. Seesaw's learning tools create powerful opportunities for deep learning. By the end of this video, you will know how to add a video and multiple links to the canvas, use draw and record across multiple pages, and view these dynamic posts in the Seesaw Journal. Now you can add a video to the canvas. You can either record a video right in Seesaw or upload a video. Your video will appear on the canvas. Unlock your video by clicking the 3 dots, then drag the corners to resize it. Add labels, shapes, drawings, and photos to create multimodal learning experiences for students. In this video, the teacher modeled a math game students were assigned to play. If you're already on the canvas, aka the drawing tool, you can record or upload a video by clicking the camera icon, then Video or Upload. Seesaw Plus and Seesaw for Schools users, you can add one video per page on multi-page posts. With video on the canvas, teachers create dynamic activities, and students can show what they know in multiple ways, all in one place. There are some limits. You can have one video per page. If you record a video in Seesaw, it can be up to 5 minutes long, or upload videos smaller than 250 megabytes. Pause the video now, record a video, and use Seesaw tools to create your first video collage. Not only can you add video to the canvas, you can now add multiple links as well. This means you can integrate resources from around the web all in one place. Here you see 3 links to resources about the solar system. Students click on each link to access the resource. You can add a link to any picture, shape, or label. Simply click on the 3 dots, then click on Link. Seesaw Plus and Seesaw for Schools users, you can even link to pages of a multi-page post. When you have multiple pages, you'll see this option to link to another page. This feature is perfect for choice boards. Keep in mind that when you link to resources outside of Seesaw, students will be directed to that web page. Pause the video and play with adding links to the canvas. Our third update supports students to capture higher order thinking like never before. Draw and record across pages. All students can continue to use draw and record on one page. For Seesaw Plus and Seesaw for Schools users who have access to multi-page, students can now create one recording across multiple pages of a post. The recording saves as a new page. It becomes the first page of the post by default, but can be clicked on and dragged to another position if desired. All work completed while recording is saved on those pages. Students are able to capture how their learning connects, and teachers are able to see and hear this higher order thinking. Pause the video, brainstorm how your students can use draw and record across multiple pages to deepen learning. We even made enhancements to how you view these posts. When a post is added to the journal, all links remain clickable and all videos are playable. When there's a multi-page recording, viewers can play the recording and scroll through the remaining pages of the post. On mobile, you can view posts in portrait or landscape mode. When you play videos, you can also enter full screen. Thanks for learning with us today. We hope you love these updates.
Okay, any questions on the updates?
Can you explain what the draw, I get the record over the multiple pages, but what would you do with the draw over multiple pages?
So it might be something that you're giving them directions as you're going through multiple pages, or, you know, for like, if you're talking like high school, they might have different problems on each page and they want to do this one full recording, like with the different steps within a long math problem or something like that. Yeah, it hasn't been something I've needed yet, but I can see some teachers really liking the idea that they can go to multiple pages for an activity. Any other questions? Okay. All right, so we're keep moving on. We're going to go down to the apply. And what I'm going to do is play the video.
All right, don't be overwhelmed. Now you're going to try all of the things that you've learned today, or at least one of them. So go ahead, try something. Let us know how it goes. Ask questions. We're here for you.
Okay, so what I usually do with the apply is I use this when I have like big classes and I have teachers toggle over to, like all day classes. I'll have them toggle over to their teacher account, create an activity or something or some sort. I'm not going to make you do that because we only have about a half hour left. But what I am going to do is come to the next slide that says share. And I want you in here inside each of these boxes, make sure you're on the hand tool, is to write in the box something that you're excited about with Seesaw, something you're frustrated with, and any questions you have Once you've done that, you can actually submit the activity. So you're going to click on the check at the top and submit that activity. I'm going to switch over to the teacher account so I can see when those activities come in. Give me another minute to finish that up. All right, if you are done with that, if you could switch over to viewing your me again, the screen, I want to show you from the student and the teacher side what it looks like as you're doing work. So on my end, what I did is instead of submitting it, I clicked draft, and I wanted to show you what that looked like on my end. So in my student journal, if I click on here, I can see items that are in draft mode. They should be at the top unless I've done a lot of other assignments since that draft, and then those would go on top because the stream can't be organized in any way other than whatever is the most recent goes to the top. When I click on activities, I can see the activities I still have to complete, and I can see where I need to finish my response because I have it as a draft. So under activities, I have a to do. If I click on that, it's going to tell me what I have to do, which is where I am right now. If I click on progress, it's going to narrow down my drafts. And if I click on done, it's going to show anything that I've completed. So if your student gets lost and is unsure what's what, this is a good way for them to kind of figure it out. You can tell them, go to your to-do, and that's where your item is going to be. Or go back to your in progress, and that's where your item is going to be. Same with folders, both in the journal and in activities. This folder shows up next to my name. When I click on it, I can see my folders and what items are in those folders. So I don't have anything right now that's in a folder, but if I did, I'd be able to click on that and see those items within the folder. All right, so actually if I put this into a folder, let's do that for you. And now when I click in the folder, I can see, let me hit refresh. I should be able to see, yep, now I can see the items that are in that folder. All right, so while you guys were doing that assignment, I also sent you a quick announcement just so you can see what that looks like from the student side. So under my inbox, I can see that I put a little note that says, great job today. All right, and it's going to show up in my announcements. Okay, now I'm going to switch over to teacher side. On the teacher side, as you were doing work, I couldn't see anything, right? I can't see the work as you're doing it. But as soon as you submitted it, I get this red bar at the bottom of my screen that says 3 unapproved posts. I can also go into activities and I'll see which ones I'm waiting approval on, right? It says 2 response waiting teacher approval here. You know, it might have something else somewhere else. All right. On each of your activities, instead of clicking on add response, if I click anywhere at the top here where it says Seesaw PD, I can pull that up and I can see all of the students that it was assigned to, and I can see which ones people have submitted and whose is in draft mode that they haven't actually submitted it yet, okay? I have access to all of them. So if I picked up my, my draft one, I can open that up, click show draft, and I can see what the student has been doing in there. All right. If I click on one to review, I can open it up. I'll see Amy's smiling face there, and I can see the work that she's done. Now, let's say I realize, oh, she forgot to do something. All right. Instead of approving the post, I can click send back. And what that does is it puts it back into her drafts. She'll get a notification saying that it was sent back. And they're going to be able to do that kind of work. If it's a public comment that you don't mind putting, you can put the comment on the bottom. Don't forget to put a period at the end of your sentence or whatever it happens to be, and you can send that back. If it looks good, you click approve, and now this goes into an approved process, for, like it shows as approved. That's why I don't have a bar across it anymore. Amy on her end is going to get a notification saying that one has been approved. All right. So you always have that option to send it back to students or just, you know, see what the information is within the students. If you have it set up, I'm going to pull up Jen's here. If you have it set up that the students can't see each other's work, this comment part becomes completely between you and the student. So it's a lot easier for you to put whatever information you want in there because only the student is going to see that. You can do it as a text comment, or you can click on the little record button. And you can create a voice comment to be like, hey, great job, Jennifer. I'm so excited that you just got invited to do the ambassador program. Woohoo, that's exciting for you. And as soon as I'm done, I can click pause. It'll process. I can hit the green check. And now she has that whole thing that I said as a voice comment back to her. All right. And then I'm going to approve hers because it looks great. Excited that she's going to be an ambassador just like me. She can do trainings just like me. And she'll be able to do the work right in here. Questions on how those activities show up for both teacher and student side? Yes, you can submit your work if you haven't already. I'm not making you do the reflection piece or anything so much there, because I kind of had you do it on the activity. So I want to go back to that activity while I'm here, and I'm going to click on that Seesaw PD, and I'm going to click on Andrea since she just put hers. Oh, look how pretty she made hers. All right, so if I go back to that last slide here where I had you put your frustrations and that sort of thing, this is a great thing for you to add in a day for your students. I love that she gave a little thumbs up. She doesn't have any questions. She's, you know, giving you some information. This 3 things activity is super important, and it's beyond a Seesaw importance. I was on a webinar, and they were talking about joy, bringing joy, you know, or finding joy. And there was a gentleman on there, and he said he ends every school day, or begins, depending on his lesson for the day, where the students have to write down 3 things that went good that day, 3 happy things, whatever you want to call it. And it could be something as simple as, I got up, I remembered to tie my shoes, I ate my breakfast, no one made fun of me on the bus, whatever it happens to be, right? They have to name 3 things that were positive. And the reason for that is, they said that they did some scientific study behind all of that, and they find that if at some point throughout the day you can say 3 good things, you're in a better mindset, you're less depressed, you're more open for learning. It does so many good things for your psyche with something as simple as 3 things. Now, I had you do a frustration, a positive, and a question, but you can certainly set this up saying 3 things you that were really exciting today, and let them be as silly or as fun or anything that they want to write. And you can keep this private between you and the student. But this could be a good exit ticket at the end of every day to be able to throw a slide up saying, I want you to put these 3 things down, and hopefully the students will be in happier places. So really good comment there. I didn't look at Amy's. Amy's been with me all day today. I like it when Amy's around. All right. Oh, here we go. Share what you did and how it went. Excited to hear we can create collections within buildings. Yeah. You mentioned an update that is coming soon. I missed what it was. There's a lot of big updates coming. The biggest one being that link that now is free. I think they're going to do something more with some of the videos. The fact that right now all we can do is do 1 video on a screen, I think that's changing, that you can do more. I could be wrong on that one. When you become an ambassador, and I typically don't talk about the ambassador program that much in these trainings, but since we have someone who's about to be one, I feel like it's good to mention. If you become a Seesaw Pioneer, and you can apply for that on their website, you'll be invited at some point to become an ambassador. And where that will be housed is on your screen here under your name in that cog. If you go into your account settings, it's going to show what you are. Like I'm Seesaw Plus because I'm an ambassador. And then underneath that, it'll tell you if you've been invited into the Seesaw Ambassador Program. And then you get an ambassador toolkit that brings you out to a different website that's private for just you and Seesaw, that gives you some updates as far as things are coming. They're pretty much sending out an update a day with some really cool features that are coming out. So it's going to be neat to see what else they offer as we're going through. So the ambassador program is really exciting. You do get it for free, which is kind of nice too. Awesome. Celebrate, need to add links, frustrations, nothing yet. Awesome. And you may have noticed on this slide deck, like if I open up mine here, I did have multiple links on these pages. So I have, the choice board has 4 different links here. I put links onto the text boxes. Each of those has a link that you can do that there. So you can always add links in lots of different ways on your slide. You can link a picture, you can link a tab, you could just put a direct link in so it shows like a little mini screenshot of whatever it is that you're going to be adding in there. Questions? We covered a full day worth of work in 2 hours. Yay, good for you, Amy. And they said the ambassador refresher is coming in August. And if you don't get their emails, they send an email every few days. It used to be once in a while. Now it's like every few days, and it's a Google Sheet that they send out with the new links, and they're sending video updates pretty often. Like I think I got one yesterday with the new things that are coming. So it's really, really cool. Yeah, Seesaw is great. And let me show you in the last 20 minutes we have together. Yeah, watch for it. It's really cool. Let me go out to their website real quick here. So if you go to web.seesaw.me, I'm going to take out the remote learning for a minute. You're going to go to their main web page. All right. And they're going to tell you how to get to the remote. They always have right now they've had this blue bar up here that's going to get you there. But I'm going to ignore that for now. I'm going to go over to training and PD. If you go to this website, they're going to give you training for teachers, and they have Seesaw for School PD. So if you have an individual one, you can see it there. If you're Seesaw for School, you can see more information in there. If you click on the resources, they have remote learning, they have the Pioneer and Ambassador programs, the Help Center, and the Privacy Center. The Help Center is amazing. This isn't just a chat box that comes up and off you go talking with AI, right? This is a very robust Help Center. So let's say you want to see activity links. Right? I'm going to click search, and I'm going to see anytime people put those two words, all right, anything with activity links. So you can see all of those, the new information. So today at 2:12, it says activity links that will connect Seesaw to iPad, not the browser. And that says, I hope that there's equivalent for the activity links when they debut this week. So we all know that it's coming. We just found that it's there. So you can see anything within the community. The knowledge base is going to give you that Help Center, like Q&A kind of thing. The community is people that are mentioning things. So, you know, you can see it's pretty active, that, you know, it's a few a day kind of thing. You can also in here say, like, you want to know something about the blog. I'm just going to type in the word blog. It's going to, again, give you the knowledge base, 22 results. Here's some community ones so you can find that information out. They also put the most common ones right at the right underneath the spot that you look in, like signing up a family member, forgetting passwords, adding co-teachers, setting up your class, all of that. They also have a website called PD in Your PJs. On this website, it's going to bring you right back to that training in PD. It used to bring you out to a different site, but if you click on training for teachers, they're going to give you some different quick start. This is where I grabbed all those slide decks, and then they've got some beyond the basics, some mini trainings. They're also going to be putting out there, they just did Seesaw Connect. Oh, there it is. They're going to bring it to me. Yeah. So Seesaw Connect was it was a neat web summit because it wasn't a live summit. What they did is they gave these lessons that were already pre-recorded that you just went on and you did. So I finished this one. I did Chris's, which was great. So it showed me how to do the choice boards in there. And I'm going to go back into the others. I just haven't had time. But you can see the different ones that they had. And you can watch these in your own time to learn more as far as how to use some of the different features. He showed one, wasn't in this one, but he showed one, he just did one on YouTube yesterday, adding spinners into your activities. So he shows you how to create one in Google Slides using an add-on called Creative Studio, something like that, where he creates these little mini videos to use as interactives within his Seesaw classroom. So pretty cool idea there. Creator Studio, that's what it's called. So Seesaw Connect has some great training, and that's located on the web.seesaw.me/training. All the way at the bottom is your Seesaw link. They also, if you follow them on Twitter or you join their Facebook page, they do daily webinars. And I mean it. It literally was every day during the closing in the spring. I actually helped out for a week. They asked ambassadors to sign up for a week to be a helper. And so our job was to be on the back channel of the web assessor that they use for your webinars and just answer the questions that came through. And they had 10 of us answering questions. I thought that was overkill, but it was so not. We couldn't even finish answering all the questions that were coming in that half-hour block or hour. I think it was an hour block. So they're very active, and they keep you engaged, and they're always offering resources to help you out. So never feel overwhelmed with Seesaw. Just know that the answer is there. It's just, you know, deciding where you want to go to get that answer. If we are in hybrid mode, would you suggest that we also invite families to the family app, especially since things could change at any time? Yeah, I would. If you have your kids coming into your classroom, I would keep it on that they can see each other's work. But if you know that they're going to be doing Seesaw from home, before they leave your class for that day, I would shut down the ability for them to see each other's work. It signs every kid out, so you're going to have to re-sign them back in. So I would re-sign them back in before you send them home. The family app, oh, I didn't show you that. Let me show you that real quick. If I go to my personal one, should have got an update inviting me. Did it not go through? Oh, maybe I'm already a family. So let me do that. Let me go out to app.seesaw.me. I'm a family member. Wrong account. Let me do this. Yeah, that'll work better. Oh, it closed out. Hang on. Maybe it doesn't want to log me in. All right, let's try it again. App.seesaw.me. I'm a family member. Family sign in. There I am. Okay, so here I am signed in as a parent on the family side. I'm going to be able to see my students' work. So, and this is across several different classes. All right, wherever I put this email address in as the parent. So I can see any work that's been done on these different pages here. Under the journals, I can see the different classes that my student is in, and I can click on them and see any work that's within any of these classes. All right, so I'll be able to see that. And then the inbox, I'm going to see anything that's been announced. So this was an announcement that I put out there in a different class, but that I put me as the parent on, so I'm going to be able to see this. So this was my Weebatuck class. And then under notifications, I'm going to be able to see whenever my student has uploaded something to Seesaw within a certain class. All right, so if your teacher, or I'm sorry, if your parents have multiple students, so they have a third grader, a fifth grader, a 12th grader, they can add in their child's journal by whatever the links were that you sent them for each of the parents, or you can just send them that direct link like I did on the student side, and then it will join them that way. So you can see that information on there. There is an app, so the parents can have it on their phone. And if you give them access to be able to comment, so here I have given them access to comment, I can say, great work today. And then the student is going to get this post immediately on theirs that a parent sent something back. So they're going to say, hey, my mom just said blah, 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 as they're getting the information back. Great question. Yeah, so yes, you can set it up, but I would definitely shut down the students being able to see each other's work if you go remote, or you ever assign it for homework. Any other questions for me? Anything else you want me to show? We got about 12 more minutes. If you're good, you're good. But if you have something else you want me to show, please let me know. All right, looks like you're good. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. If you haven't said something in the chat, make sure that you do so. And I think you all have. Yeah, you're all good. I'll make sure and give you credit for being here. I'm going to send an email with a link to the recording to you, so you have access to this after the fact. And if you ever need anything, please reach out. I'm happy to help you.